Boom! What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at another one from Anchorage Brewing Company. Sorry, my head's a little bit of in a haze right now. I just woke up from a nap. But we got a triple IPA from Anchorage Brewing Company this afternoon called Wake the Others. Let's see what there's... It doesn't say much about this beer when it comes to on the can, when it says like the hops and all that stuff on there. So you have to kind of go to Untapped to see what all the information is. And it's a triple IPA made with Citra, Galaxy, and Mosaic hops, which is a very, very common hops combination for a nice kind of hazy, very, very almost juicy, great tropical fruit / citrus flavor IPA. And I'm pretty damn stoked about this one because Anchorage Brewing Company makes some fantastic beers. I've had countless and countless beers from Anchorage Brewing Company by now, and I don't think I've ever really been disappointed, to be honest. So, knowing that I have a 10% triple IPA that I can drink this afternoon is a hell of a good reason to kind of get out of bed after a nap, I guess you could say. But, yeah, I'm excited. I'm pretty damn excited. Of course, with it being a triple IPA, it's going to be a lot hoppier than your normal kind of hazy IPA. Of course, those hoppy flavors would be really, really nice, having that nice balance of with the Citra, having like those grapefruit kind of citrusy flavors, and Mosaic kind of having some like tropical fruit flavors, and then the Galaxy bringing in with those like mixture of citrus and tropical fruits. But I think those are three hops that always work really, really well together. So I'm expecting this to be pretty damn delicious if I don't say so myself. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose with this guy. Let's see what we get here. Yep, this definitely smells like a triple IPA, that's for damn sure. Definitely loving the almost like, definitely getting a little bit of like mango coming through on the nose. Definitely getting that citrusy kind of hit in the face that you would expect out of a nice triple IPA. But yeah, it smells absolutely delicious. So I'm expecting this guy to be pretty damn hazy, and I'll be drinking out of my Grim Army pint glass. So let's pour this thing and see what it's all about. Let's see here. Not as hazy as I thought it would be, to be honest, but definitely has a nice kind of haze to it. Not as much as that orange juicy kind of lighter kind of haze, though, but definitely has a nice kind of darkness to it when it comes to the haze. Almost that nice golden color. Definitely pretty damn hazy. A little bit ahead, but not too much, I would say so. But overall, yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty damn solid one. Definitely getting those strong hints of like almost fruity mango coming through on the nose that are just really, really nice and just very, very tropical. And I think this is going to be an absolutely delicious triple IPA. So let's give this guy a shot and see what it's all about. So cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday. Yeah, that's pretty damn delicious. Very, very smooth, very creamy. Definitely getting the booziness, that's for damn sure. Which is something to expect kind of like on a higher ABV triple IPA. Just a fair warning, you're going to get a little bit of booziness, especially if it's at higher ABV. But it's to be expected, but if it's done really well, there's a nice balance to it, and there's overall really, really good flavors that come through it, like a nice kind of pungent triple IPA like this. And that's exactly what I'm getting from this one. I'm being completely honest. It's pretty damn delicious. Definitely kind of a triple IPA that put hair on your chest, but I think that's exactly what I was expecting with this one. And of course, looking here on Untapped, there's some verified locations that it's showing for Wake the Others triple IPA from Anchorage Brewing Company. Of course, we got the Sunset Mart in Rockland, California, and then we got the San Thomas Liquor in Santa Clara, California. So those are the two verified locations that will carry possibly this beer from Anchorage Brewing Company. But of course, their distribution has definitely gotten a lot better when it comes to availability on the West Coast, so you may be able to find some of their stuff near there. I'm not really 100% sure when it comes to availability on the other side of the country. To be honest, tend towards the East Coast and maybe the Midwest. I'm not 100% sure how distribution is like. I know it's definitely gotten better, but of course, a very, very reliable source to get Anchorage Brewing Company beers in your area is always getting yourself onto Tavour, because Tavour does frequent drops of different beers from Anchorage Brewing Company, and that's where I've pretty much gotten every single beer that I reviewed from them. is from Tavour, so they definitely get a decent amount of stuff in for them. I would say more than just a decent amount. Anchorage is one of those breweries that shows up on Tavour pretty often, and they, of course, if you go on Anchorage Brewing Company's website, they're heavily promoted of being available on Tavour and all that stuff. So I think there's a really nice partnership when it comes to those two companies working together and kind of getting this product out there and available for the masses. So let's look over here back at Untappd. And of course, if you can't get your hands on this like the others from Anchorage Brewing Company, Untappd, oh, why am I yawning? Untappd is a really cool thing to where they show similar beers when it comes to showing on the similar beers list and stuff. And there's a funny thing right here because there's 3 beers here from a specific brewery that's definitely, I've heard of them before. I've mentioned them before on these reviews before as well. But we got 3 beers here from Willow Park Brewing, which I think these guys are, I forgot where these guys are out of specifically. Yeah, they're in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So 3 beers from Willow Park showing up here. Let's see what they have to recommend for being similar to this. We got one called the Deadly Vocabulary from Willow Park. Let's see. We got one here called Laps Around the Sun. Let's see. This is a 10% triple IPA, kind of like a New England triple hazy IPA. Okay, so this one looks like it's a freaking triple dry hops and all that kind of stuff. And then they added Enigma hops, which is they say it's a newer style of hops from Australia. 105 IBUs, so this Laps Around the Sun is definitely a pungent one as well. Let's look at this Deathly Vocabulary and see. Okay, it's a 9.9%. Maybe that'll be. Holy crap! Why am I yawning? Well, Jesus. And let's see what else we got here. We got one here from Willow Park called Underworld Kings, which is a 10% triple IPA. They definitely promote a lot of these IPAs from Willow Park being heavily hopped during the whirlpool, which is definitely something that is a common thing, I would say, when it comes to triple IPAs. A lot of the times, of course, your main hopping isn't going to be during the first wort hopping or all that kind of stuff. It's going to be during the whirlpool, and then when it's in the fermenter, when you're dry hopping it throughout the first day or so after. So a lot of the times when you're dry hopping a beer, some people recommend you dry hop it literally 24 hours after you put it in the fermenter, after you pitch the yeast and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes people wait like a day or two after that just to kind of give a little bit more time. Some people say that doesn't really do anything when it comes to flavor if the longer you wait for a dry hopping process, but it's all opinion when it comes to stuff like that. So if you're brewing, you can either start dry hopping it 24 hours after you pitch the yeast, or you may be able to do it a day after that as well, after all that stuff's kind of worked through together, kind of started fermenting a little bit more in the fermenter. Let's see what else here. Then we got 2 here from different breweries. We got one here from District 96 Beer Factory called Carrot. That's a weird that's a funny kind of sound name. So it's like, so they're spelling carrot 3 times. The carrot like on a diamond, carrot like the actual vegetable, and then Karat, which I don't know what that stands for on the picture. Oh, I don't know what the K in carrot stands for, but I like the kind of, actually what they say, it's a 3-way collaboration between Tin Barn Brewing, Haze Boys, and then with their furry friend Lorenzo the Beer Cat. So it was like a little 3-way collaboration between some people to kind of come out with a nice triple IPA. And the last one we're going to look at here is from Finn's Brewing Company called the Triple Vegan with Passion Fruit and Mango, which a lot of times if you want to brew an IPA, you can also use puree in there to kind of help with the haziness and then kind of add a little bit of that fruity flavor. That's definitely something that breweries do once in a while. They're not just relying on the flavors of the hops to kind of bring in those fruit flavors. Sometimes they kind of enhance a little bit more just by adding a little bit of puree in there just to kind of give it a little extra punch of fruitiness to it. That's definitely not an uncommon thing, but let's see what I would choose to be the most similar to this one, to be honest. It's going to be tough. Let's see. Let's look at this Laps Around the Sun again and see. Definitely a really high IBU rating. We got the Motica, Simcoe, and Eldorado. I mean, you can get kind of similar flavors from that one. Definitely going to have more of like a hoppier punch due to some of those hops. Let's look at this Underworld Kings. Azeka, Galaxy, and Eldorado. I think I might go with this Underworld Kings to being the most similar. Of course, there's a similarity when it comes to Galaxy hops being introduced there during probably the Whirlpool and all that kind of stuff. And then it's triple dry hop with Citra and Nelson Sauvin hops. So having that little extra citrusiness and all that kind of stuff with the dry hopping with the Citra, I think you're going to get a pretty good experience when it comes to similarities with this Underworld Kings from Willow Park Brewing. So possibly if you can get your hands on this one from Willow Park, you may be able to have a similar drinking experience with this one from Anchorage Brewing Company as well. So let's start looking back at Untappd here. And let's see if there's anybody on my friends list to check this one in before I start looking over at the ratings and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like there's one check-in from somebody on my friends list. Of course, my father, since whenever I purchased a lot of the beers that I get from Tavour, I'm usually buying two. One for me, one for him. So I'm able to do one for a review, and he's able to just kind of give one a try and see what he thinks about it. So he checked this one in, and he gave it a 4 out of 5. So yeah, he definitely likes his triple IPA. So this is definitely high on his list for having that 4 out of 5, because he's kind of picky when it comes to giving things above a 3.75 unless there's kind of something that stands out to him. So having it be that 4 kind of just put it on that kind of realm of, okay, this is a little bit better than the rest. So let's look back here at the top of Untappd, and let's start looking to see what the ratings. And of course, like I stated before, it's a 10% ABV, which you guys know by now. I would not consider this beer sessionable at all. You could probably have one of these and you'll definitely be feeling it for sure. And it's definitely going to have that little bit more of a pungent, hoppy bite to it. Maybe you'll have some that are going to have a little bit more of like some tropical fruit, a little bit more citrus flavors, but sometimes you'll have some of those ones that have just more of like a dank kind of hoppier flavor, and it may not be the kind of beer for you. Unfortunately, I love this kind of beer. So when it comes to triple IPAs and quad IPAs, those are like my favorite styles of beer. So this is something I go for heavily. So let's see here. And with over 2,935 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.27 out of 5, which is pretty damn fantastic, if I say so myself. Having almost 3,000 ratings and still having that average kind of rating of almost above a 4.25, I think is a really, really good beer. But let's see here. Let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings when we're in Arm with this guy. Since we read off the average ratings and all that stuff, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to do specifically over here with ours when it comes to ratings. Let's see. Of course, first thing we like to look at here is can art. And of course, this one did the thing that Anchorage does that I'm not really the biggest fan of when it comes to having the sideways art, where it's kind of the situation where you have to peel the label off a little bit to kind of get a good feel at it, but I'll try to do my best. And of course, they have a white label, and of course it's called Wake the Others. Oh, there we go, that way. And I'll try to give you the best kind of, I have to turn it around like this way so you can get a good picture of it, but there's a lot of detail going on with this one, because you got this like raven with some skulls on there, and then you start going down more. Definitely, it seems like there's, I don't know if it's maybe one raven or maybe more than one, or maybe that's it's like on its stomach of the raven itself, to where it's the skulls are actually part of its chest, like maybe it's armor, and of course you can see a little bit of like the wings are almost skeletal, which I think is really, really cool. So it's like almost the raven has like skeletal armor on there almost. So I think that's really, really cool detail. And if you look here, there's almost like kind of thoughts of being whitewashed out, but it has like almost like a golden kind of ring on it, like it was the moon. I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, but I really, really like this can art. The only thing about it that is discouraging to me about it is the whole it being sideways and not really being something that is easy to market when it comes to putting this on display at a liquor store or bottle shop. So if you wanted to sell this, it would be a little bit difficult to kind of promote this. I mean, you can kind of put multiple cans together to kind of recreate the art, but overall, if you want to kind of face something when it comes to it being at a liquor store or bottle shop, having it this kind of style is going to make it a little bit more difficult for you to kind of promote and market. But overall, the art on here is fantastic. It's just so much detail. But to me, it's just that sideways thing is going to make it a little bit more difficult for the marketing of this beer specifically. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to give this can art a final rating of maybe... I really like it. Don't get me wrong. I really like it. I never get really disappointed when it comes to any can art Anchorage comes out with. I'll give it a 4.75. The one thing about it being sideways is kind of the bugging me about it, but plus it makes it a little bit more difficult for me to take a picture of it, showing everybody what I'm going to be reviewing and when it comes to me posting on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So it makes it a little bit difficult that way, but overall, really cool, really nice. So yeah, 4.75 out of 5 for can art for me. So let's see. If I got this beer in a flight over at Anchorage Brewing Company, would I get another one? Absolutely. Absolutely. Love how smooth it is. The booziness is kind of mellowed down a little bit more now that I'm starting to get those like tropical and citrusy flavors coming through really heavy. It's not too overly bitter when it comes to hoppiness, so they use just the right amount of hops on the boil, and then kind of let the right amount of measurements during the whirlpool and the dry hopping process kind of bring in those natural fruitier flavors and having just like a nice kind of hoppy, fruity kind of tones coming through with this one. Definitely has a really juicy mouthfeel too as well, which is also really nice. Definitely keeps it out of the realm of it being like one of those West Coast style IPAs. It almost leaves it a little bit not as dry or not as oily of a mouthfeel, but nice and hazy, very fruity, very tropical. So overall flavor of this one is pretty outstanding. So if I would definitely get another one of these if I got in a flight. I'd probably try to get a 4-pack to bring home if I was able to. So with that being said, what is my final rating on this guy going to be? That's going to be difficult. I think my final rating on this guy, I'm going to get a very solid 8.75 out of 10. Really good. I want to say this is not something that kind of screams out at me. It's definitely my go-to style, but I've definitely had other triple IPAs that were really similar to this when it comes to flavor, mouthfeel, hoppiness, all that kind of stuff. There's nothing really that's stand outish to me from all the other triple IPAs that I've had that kind of makes this one stand out on its own. Doesn't mean it's a bad beer at all. It's still freaking amazing, don't get me wrong, but there's something with this one that makes it stand out from all the other beers that I've had. So overall, it's still really good, but there's nothing like to make this beer kind of stand on a pedestal on its own. But overall, it's still a really good beer. So I think I'm going to leave that with an 8.75 out of 10, which I think is still a pretty damn good rating. That's definitely something that I would recommend people picking up if they can get their hands on it. Not sure if this one is available right now when it comes to distribution or anything like that. But if you're able to get your hands on this one, maybe if it comes up during the later months, yeah, I would just recommend you just do it. That's all I would say. If you can see this one out in your local store or bottle shop near you, just don't hesitate, pick it up. You'll most likely enjoy it if you like higher ABV and hoppier, kind of more fruity triple IPAs. So Anchorage Brewing Company did a really fantastic job with this one. But other than that, I think that's what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel, like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live doing another review. I'm not sure if I have any reviews planned for tomorrow. I got to see what the situation with work is going to be like. I'm not sure if I'm going in, but you guys will find out tomorrow in the afternoon if I do an Instagram post or not. Of course, you can go over to my Instagram and shoot me a follow. That will let you know what I'm going to be reviewing that day. Plus, you'll see shenanigans that I'm going to be doing over at the brewery when it comes to possible new beer releases, or if we're going to be brewing that day. I kind of do a little bit of stories on that. But yeah, Instagram's going to be the first place to find out what's being reviewed and what new stuff is going on over at Fibs. So if you want to shoot me a follow over there, that'd be great. And of course, I have a Untapped as well. You guys hear me talk about Untapped all the time. I love that platform. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's just really fun time over there. You can check in beers, get badges. And if you're a craft beer fan and not on Untapped yet, you're doing something wrong, because the platform they've made over there is really fantastic. Plus, you can see people like me, Ian, Kentucky, my dad's on there, Duchess, Logan, Lee, Not the Real Gerard Butler, Face Meat. A bunch of us are on Untappd just checking the beers and having a good time. So I highly recommend, if you're a craft beer fan, to get yourself over there and just start enjoying the experience that is Untappd. But last but not least, of course, if you want to support me as well, when it comes to just more than just subscribing to the channel, I do have a Patreon available where I do monthly craft beer giveaways as well, to where you can join a specific tier and have better opportunities to win Illinois exclusive craft beer that we pick out specifically from breweries around me, that I pick out, that I hand pick and all that kind of stuff, so you guys can get your hands on some stuff that I can get my hands on, but normally won't be out in your area. So it gives you the opportunity to try some new stuff. Plus, it helps me out with getting a little bit more money in my pocket. Plus, helps me get more beers out for reviews to you guys, and then gives me the opportunity to kind of go out and give away more beer and possibly do more giveaways on the Patreon itself. Of course, down the road when there's more people, I'm planning on doing a Discord specifically for the patrons. I'm working on possibly getting some merch, glassware, coasters, koozies available for them as well. So if you want to get the behind scoop of all that, Patreon is the best way to do it. So the link to that is also down in the description below. But other than that, that is what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I'm ending this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.